To buy a good steak at the grocery store, there's a chance you're probably paying more for that steak. Retail meat prices are higher right now than they were this time last year, in some cases by as much as 5%. However, meat production and supply is still ample. In this week's Bottom Line, Neil Melancon tells us why we're paying more even though the freezer cases are still full. Neil, what's going on?
Well, Mike, right now we're riding a wave of meat, so to speak. Cattle numbers have been low in feedlots here lately due to them dumping off a lot of their inventory on the market, and that was because of 2008's high feed prices. Many cattlemen dumped their lot to feedlots, and they turned around and dumped them off to the packers. March's cattle on feed numbers reflected this, as low inventory numbers are hitting these feedlots and in other meat sectors across the board. Red meat output from feedlots was up in February by 265 million pounds to 23.8 billion for beef due to dryness in the Midwest and that quick turnaround of cattle to markets. That number is expected to fall off dramatically in coming months as these feedlots continue to empty out. Pork production, meanwhile, has begun to feel the pinch, down 400 million pounds to 23.1 billion. Pork prices and demand have been much lower and sooner than had hit beef, which is part of the drop-off. Retail meat prices, meanwhile, on the other hand, have been higher than last year. Beef up 5.1% over this time last year, pork up 4.4%, and poultry up 4.5%. These numbers do include the drop-off in prices that have happened over the last few months, reflecting the huge surge that we saw in 2008. The bottom line is, at least for the time being, we're still going to see these higher retail prices, although they are starting to drop off a bit. Demand right now is still low as the whole globe is suffering under this recession, and so as demand continues to stay down, we'll continue to see this surplus in meat. It's not going anywhere for a while. It's reflected in the way that they're marketing beef right now. You see a lot of advertising for ready-to-eat meals, especially whole meals, whereas they used to just advertise slices of beef or certain ways of preparing it. Now the whole meal, vegetable sides, the whole deal is packaged so that consumers will buy it up more. Easy at-home cooking is the name of the game right now. Over the next few months, we should see a drop-off in these retail beef prices, as well as an increase in the price that farmers and ranchers are receiving. That'll only last a short while, but as summer and the demand comes on strong, it should be good for both consumers as well as producers. That's the bottom line. I'm Neil Melancon. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Neil. And of course, to listen to Neil's reports, you can tune in to the Louisiana Farm Bureau Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can listen in, click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and we'll give you a list of stations.